G'day guys, gearing up to head up to the airport at the moment, fly into New Zealand tonight and I'll catch up with some friends and family that I haven't seen for a while and hopefully get out and chase some roaring Sika stags. Not too sure what this weather's going to be like though. I fly in 2 days before that cyclone's due to hit. We're going to be down the bush for that following week. We'll make the most of it anyway, going to get out regardless and chase some deer. Heading down Clements Road where my old man's already set up down there. So go catch up with him and hopefully have a bit of luck. But yeah, come along and see how we get on. Shit, wet morning this morning, but it's starting to clear up now. The fog's starting to lift and the rain's disappearing. I've gone up high to try and listen for some roars. I've just heard a stag here. It's about 400 or 500 metres away at most, so the wind's in the right direction, so we might try and creep in that way and get a bit closer, see if we can roar again. I heard it. Well, that all changed pretty quickly. We were just creeping along, been battling through a heap of bloody windfall and shit for a while. No roaring, that stag from earlier just shut up. It got into close to where it was and not another peep. So we changed direction a bit because the wind changed. And yeah, we were just coming down a little spur and a stag cruised through straight in front of us. Got it to stop and yeah, put one through its shoulder. I was confident I hit it, but I wasn't exactly too sure because the way it jumped after I shot, but following its prints now and coming across some blood. Spot. So I'll keep tracking him down and hopefully find him, see what he is. Oh, what is he, a little 8? Oh my God, little 8-pointer. Cool. Oh, here it is. It's a sweet, actually quite an even little 8-pointer. Nothing massive, quite short, but good shape to him. He probably went about 50 metres or so. Probably 10 or 15 metres after from where I shot him, started getting quite a good blood trail, which made it easy enough to find him. But yeah, I'm wrapped. Monkey off the back. Still got, what do we got? Three more full days down here, so hopefully we can hear a bit more roaring. But yeah, we'll get to work doctoring this up and get back out of here and maybe go have an afternoon beer. Oh, another new day today. Weather's meant to clear today, so fingers crossed for that. Still been a bit wet this morning though. I'm bloody super clogged up, feeling a bit under the weather, so we're just going to go for a little poke around today, nothing too crazy. Yeah, see if anything's making any noise, or try to find a few fresh scrapes or something just to try and have a good crack tomorrow. But yeah, it's still going to get wet today, but we'll make the most of it, see what happens. Oh, it's pretty quiet today. It's pretty quite cold as well actually. There's a bit of a stiff breeze blowing that's cutting straight through you. Haven't heard any roaring at all. Just going to keep pushing along a little bit further. See if we can find a bit of fresh sign, a fresh scrape or something to sit down and let a roar off would be ideal, and just sit and wait. Hopefully something might just coming for a nosy at us, but yeah, she's slow today. That's alright. Get those days. Can you see it? Yeah, bro. Hit it. We're just shooting up the spur. I heard a stag roar earlier, so we were trying to close the gap in on that. And they're sneaking up and there's a little yelling, standing there just staring at us. So we gave Scotty the chance to try and have a crack at it and get his first Sika, and he's definitely hit it. It's just a bit low and we can't find any blood, and with a little animal like that on this sort of ground, there's no prints to try and follow or anything either. It's just dead end. We've been looking hard all around this area for the last 30 or 40 minutes and just not a specker or trace of anything. It's it's a real shame. I bloody hate doing that when you've had an animal and you leave it, but it's hunting and these things do happen. You just got to learn from them. Hopefully we can carry on. Maybe you might get lucky and stumble across a bit of blood, but at this point I think we'll just carry on our hunt.
Look on the way back if we do.
Yeah, might come back down this way and have a nosy. They've come up a bit further from where we had a shot of that yearling. They've got 4 stags roaring real hard. They're all 3 of them are single calling really well, and the other one's yawning. They're probably about 300 metres straight across the river on the other face from us, but the wind's been a real bastard. Keeps swirling, it's on our back and then it's in our face, so it's sort of hard to make a move, but might try and hear them out a little bit more and then try and get on the same face as them and see what the wind's doing. Right, we've made it right into the thick of it. We've got 3 stags, possibly 4 stags, all within 50, 60 metres of us, roaring really hard, single calling. Can hear a couple of them mewing. Oh, I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera, but bloody hell, this is what it's all about. This is exciting. There's a 6-pointer staring at us. He's been standing there for about 5 minutes. He's not letting us leave. I want him to move on undisturbed so he doesn't scare the maid stag. Right there. Yeah, right, got it. Yeah! Yeah, right, got it. Yeah! Oh well, that wraps that hunt up. We've been stalking in for probably at least 4 hours, if not longer, just playing the waiting game. That 6-pointer up there busted us earlier. But this fella just shot a little stag and he was just bedded down in the sun. It was the one that was roaring, but he's an ugly head. I think he's just a little 3-pointer. We'll go down, have a look at him. Yeah, a little bit awesome, but a little bit gutted as well that he's such a fugly looking little thing. Oh well, take him out of the gene pool. Oh, here it is. After all that effort, we've got a big long 4-pointer. Would have been nice if it had an extra few points, if it was a decent 8, but we'll take him. He's quite an old boy. Been working. But yeah, he was just bedded down in the sun here when we popped over the top, and he let out a roar right in front of us, which is pretty cool to see it roar. And I was sort of umming and ahhing whether we shoot it or not. And then he stood up, looked at us and gave a mew, so they decided after put him down, put one in him, get him out of the gene pool. Another head, another Clements Road head, which is pretty cool. But yeah, choice. We'll bone him up now and get out of here. Wow, what an awesome bloody hunt that was. All started off with one stag he-hawing earlier this morning at about 8 o'clock, and then he didn't make any noise for a while, so we carried on up above him, and then he roared again, and then another 2 started roaring. One of them we weren't too sure whether it was actually a stag or a hunter. It sounded like a hunter a little bit from where we were, so we decided to sneak in a little bit closer into where they were, just to try and get a bit of a clearer place to listen from. And then yeah, we could definitely tell it wasn't a hunter, definitely 3 stags. And then got in a little bit closer, and then a 4th stag started up, and it was all looking good. And then the wind changed direction and started blowing on the backs of our necks, and we thought we were well buggered. They shut up and didn't make any noise for probably 30 minutes or more, when they were roaring sort of every 2 or 3 minutes before that. And we thought we were stuffed, but we ended up carrying on anyway, and we got down and crossed over onto the spur that they were on. And then when we got up there, they started roaring again, and the wind was just swirling the whole time though. Like, we were worried the whole time the wind was going to screw us. We had one stag single calling probably about 50 metres straight across from us, but real thick little gut to get to him. And then another 2 single calling up above us to our left, and then there was another one he-hawing probably our next spur over. So we decided to hook it up to the left and try and gain elevation and get above the 2 that were single calling above us to get the wind in our favour a bit better. Did that, and then when we started dropping back down into where the stag was roaring from, I had to push through a heap of crown fern and bloody making a hell of a racket, and he shut up. And we got down to where he was roaring from, and heard a bit of racket in the crown fern, and this hind come running out towards us, and there was a little scrubby little 4-pointer chasing it. And then they sort of ran a circle around us, and then come sprinting straight back towards us. The hind ran straight past us, and the little 4-pointer come sprinting out probably 4 metres away from us and just come to a big stop, and was like, whoop. seen us, looked straight at us, and then just bolted again. Didn't squeal, which was quite good because the other stags below us were still roaring. So we carried on sneaking down, and then saw quite a good 8-pointer ghosting through the bush below us. There was no shot opportunity at him, and he just ghosted off, never to be seen or heard from again. And then carried on down a little bit more, getting closer to where the stag's single calling from, and saw a smaller 8, still reasonable. And then he sort of disappeared into a thick gut, and then across the other side there's a 6-pointer. He's not too bad, but he is standing there just staring at us. We didn't want to move because he didn't want him to whistle at us. He wouldn't move. He just stayed there for probably at least 10 or 15 minutes, just staring straight at us, not moving at all. We decided, bugger it, we'll push on. And as soon as we started moving, of course, he whistled and bloody broke our cover. And at this point, we were probably only about 40, 50 metres above where this other one was single calling from, so it was a bit of a bugger, really. But then he carried on another one or two roars. So we carried on sneaking down, sort of got to the edge of the spur, and it sort of started bluffing out, and we were sort of not sure where it had gone. Crept around the edge of it and just nosed it over the edge of it, and there was the stag that I shot was just sitting down there, and pretty sure he's the one that was roaring the whole time. It's an old boy, just a big old long 4-pointer, but it was quite cool. Just as we looked down there, he was bedded down in the sun, and he looked straight at us and just let out a big single call, and then stood up and was about to let out another one before we sent him a pill. But yeah, it was such an awesome hunt. It was so action-packed. Haven't had stags roaring like that down Clements Mill here for a long, long time. It was real awesome to be in the thick of it, hear them single calling and mewing all around us. It was awesome. Just a real cool day.